Well, greetings everyone. I'm going to keep this relatively short, and it's not going to get political. I'm not going to drop any names. It's not that kind of a post. I'm sick of political posts too because they just get out of hand, so don't worry about that. So you know how every politician talks about how they're going to tax the rich, or they're going to borrow and spend, or they're going to tax and spend. And the end result is exactly the same. You pay for it because you have a job. When they say tax the rich, what they're not telling you is that they're talking about people with a high-paying job. If you make money at a job, you pay the highest tax rate in the entire country. The worst. Every tax the rich speech that every politician gives you, they're talking about you because you have a job. Ordinary earned income is W-2 money. W-2 is the tax form that you receive when you have a job. That is the highest tax rate in the land. And the more money that you make, the harder that you work, the more money that you make, the more you are penalized for it. Literally penalized. The harder you work, the more money that you make at your job, the more you're penalized for it in taxes. So whenever you hear a politician say tax the rich, they're not talking about truly rich people. They're talking about you because you have a job. And you cannot get ahead because if you make more money at your job, you lose more of it to taxes. And then what does everybody do when they hear, we're going to tax the rich? They say, yeah, that's awesome. Make everybody pay their fair share. No, you're celebrating your own demise, your own financial destruction. They're talking about you. So why do they do that? Because they know that the average voter knows nothing about money, nothing about taxes. We say we do, but we really don't. Otherwise, they wouldn't be saying those things and scoring victory points with people who will vote for that crap. The true rich people are not working for money. They make money work for them. It's a fundamental difference. And a lot of people think they even know what that means, and they have no clue what it means. It means that they're making passive and residual money by providing a perceived value that people are paying for, like in terms of food, energy, how they keep the lights on at home, housing, people that actually really do supply jobs. They don't pay the tax rates that everybody else pays. Let me put it in other words. If you take a job for yourself, but you're not providing any jobs, you're going to pay higher taxes. You're going to be the rich that they are going to tax. If you're just going to eat food and consume, but you're not providing any of the food supply, then you are going to pay the brunt of the tax bill. If you take a house or a place for yourself to live, but you're not going to supply housing, especially to lower and middle income families, then you are going to pay the brunt of the tax bill through your job. The truly rich people of the world are earning passive and residual income by providing things that our economy needs to grow. Those people will never pay the high tax rate that you pay at your job. And we're going to raise taxes on the rich. Every promise that has been made by every politician, that's actually one promise that they actually keep. But what they're not telling you is that they're talking about you. So even though it's the only promise that politicians actually keep, they do it in a very manipulative kind of way, because all the victims of that promise are the ones that are going, yeah, tax the rich. So when you're cheering that kind of nonsense on, just realize you're cheering for your financial, and they are never going to tell you that because they're in the business of courting your vote. But I'm telling you, if we get financially smart, then they can't pull that kind of bullshit on us anymore. They know what they're talking about. I don't think politicians are stupid. I think people are stupid. And they're in the business of courting votes from stupid people. That's just the truth of it. Now, having said that, I don't say that to say anybody is stupid at their core. I mean, we're financially very dumb. And I was financially dumb, but I started learning about money, and that changed everything for me. And I stopped working for money. I haven't had a job in over 10 years now. It's been a little over 10 years I have not had a job, because it is the single biggest ripoff. It's the single biggest way to steal money from yourself and nourishment from your family. If you want to be the rich that they tax when they say tax the rich, then you go ahead and you keep your job, and you will be taxed like it's going out of style. And that is never changing. That will never change. And you know what? In my opinion, it shouldn't change. If you're going to steal a job from somebody else and provide no jobs for somebody, you should make up for that by paying the highest tax rate. If you're just going to live in a house or an apartment or wherever, but you're not going to do anything to give other people housing and supply housing, then you should make up for that by paying the highest tax rate in the country. If you're just going to consume energy, whether it's gas, electric, whatever, but you're not going to provide it for other people, then you should make up for that by paying the highest tax rate in the country, and so on and so forth. So you have to decide, are you going to be greedy and just take a job for yourself and not supply any jobs? Are you going to be greedy and just consume energy and consume food but not supply energy and food for other people? Are you just going to be greedy and take, but not supply any of these things? Then you should pay the highest tax rate in the country, as you are, by having a job. It's a different way to look at it, isn't it? Not to say that you're greedy and dumb and all those things at your core. You just haven't thought of it that way before. It's a totally different perspective. And the true rich will never pay more in taxes than you. They will never pay a higher tax rate because they don't have a job. They're earning passive and residual money. But the rich that they will tax, they are taxing, they've always taxed, and it will always be that way, are going to be people with a job. Especially people at the middle. And the more, if you decide you want to make more money than poor or middle, the harder you work, the more money you make at your job, the more you're penalized in taxes, because they tax the rich, and the rich are people who have a job. The true rich are people that don't have a job and make passive and residual money. It's completely different. So what I would like you to do, if you're even interested, go start researching passive and residual money and start learning about taxes. 99.5% of the tax code is telling you what to do to make more money and pay less in taxes. Only half of 1% of the tax code tells you how to make more money and pay more in taxes. And 98% of the population is following that half of 1% of the tax code that tells you how to pay more in taxes. That's ridiculous. Only 2% of the population is following the other 99.5% of the tax code that tells you exactly what to do to permanently pay less in taxes while you make more money. It's like so ridiculously lopsided, but it's a testament to how in the box people just keep themselves, and you really have to get outside of what you're taught in school about money, because there is no financial education in school, and that's on purpose. You have to get outside of the box of how the media questions politicians. For example, who in the media is questioning any politician about what's it mean to raise taxes? Because you're only talking about people that have a job. Nobody in the media brings this up when they talk to a politician about that. Have you ever heard a politician or somebody in the news media, which is supposed to be a free press, have you ever heard somebody in the free press ask a politician about that particular thing about taxing the rich, about how you're actually just taxing people with a job? That's never happened. That's on purpose too. The press is not as free as we're told it is. I'm going to go, I guess that concludes my talk. Start looking at passive and residual income and stop being the suckers that buy into this nonsense of taxing the rich. You're rooting for your own financial demise. You will always be the rich they're talking about because you have a job, and as a job occupier, you will always pay the highest tax rate. So, there you go. Go back and watch the beginning of this video if you just came in or if you missed the beginning of it, so that you've got some context as to what I'm talking about. I've also got my website, tombirkenmeyer.com, exactly how it's spelled here on Facebook and my other social media. Just take out the space, tombirkenmeyer.com. I've got lots of blog posts and videos on the topic matter of all this stuff, so dig around and cherry pick whatever helps you. I'm going to go back and read the comments now and see what's going on. Lots of love, lots of hearts. I love that. Maybe I'll hang out with you guys for a while if you're going to be active. Good morning, Cheyenne. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Cheyenne. Good morning. Hi, Liz. Hi, Mariah. Good morning. Hi, Lisa. Good morning. Hi, Lizette. Good morning. Mariah says, this is what people need to hear. Thanks, Tom. Where do you find this information? All right. I would just, go to Google. Go to google.com and start doing keyword searches for passive income, residual income. And of course, TomBerkenmeyer.com. I've got my website. You can use my little search bar for those searches too. And I've also got my YouTube channel. You can do keyword searches within my own YouTube channel, which is linked from my TomBerkenmeyer.com website. Hi, Odin. Isn't Odin a god? A Greek god? Are you saying I'm a Greek god? I disagree, but I will thank you for the compliment. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Jay. Alright, so I'm all caught up with the comments and stuff. So, here's how it's going to play out for the rest of this video. If you guys are active, meaning, you know, comments, we can hang out for a little bit. But if we're not active, I'll just close the video out and I'll see you on the next video. So does anybody have anything they want to say or any questions or something you want to talk about, something that's on your mind? Cool, Mariah. I'm trying to remember who you were telling me about, the guy you were telling me about. All I know is Odin, the Greek god. Or I might even be wrong. Maybe he's a Scandinavian god. Tea guy. The tea guy. Man, I'm really trying to remember that. My short-term memory is so bad. I was probably all into it as you were telling me that, Mariah. Like, oh, wow, that sounds cool. And now I don't even remember. Hi, Sandy. By the way, I miss you guys. I miss the girls. The girls are part of my cover photo right now. Well, hello, Sandy. Thanks for all the hearts. Hi, Melanie. Melanie, I pretty much finished. I'm just hanging out, probably not much longer. But you'll be able to go back and watch this when it's over. Thanks, Mariah. Well, it's only a matter of time till I'm back. How much time? I don't know. Okay, everyone, I'm just going to give this another half a minute. And if you're all going to be a bump on a log, I'm closing the video down. But if you want to hang out, you're going to have to say something. And I'm good either way. He teaches medicinal properties in different teas he sells. Oh, yes! Now I remember. I remember I was asking if you know this guy named Mitch who lives out in the Las Vegas area, who is an expert on teas and what they can do medicinally. He reminds me of Mitch. I remember now. Your profile picture is both of us with the boobs. I'll have to go check that out, Mariah, once this is over. Cool, Sandy. I hope you do watch later. The weather is beautiful here. It's significantly colder. When I landed in, just the day before yesterday morning, I landed in Wisconsin. Immediately when I stepped off the plane, my first thought was, my, it's colder here. Las Vegas was perfect weather I just stepped out of. So perfect, comfortable weather. And now it's cold. And today it's actually pretty beautiful. A slight chill in the air, but the sun is out and it's really beautiful here. We miss you too. I have our pic from the sliding glass door. Oh yeah! That's right, I remember that. I uploaded that too to my Facebook the other day. That was a good picture. I inspire you to get out. Alright, you got new bike. You have 4 more bikes? Mariah, that's awesome! So next time I visit you, we can all go for a bike ride and visit different parts of the city. Maybe Fremont, maybe the Strip, maybe Sunset Park. How is the Renaissance Fair? I don't recall you talking about that. I hope it was good. Yes, this is my house. Okay, for those of you that are still watching, this house was paid for tax-free with residual and passive money. It's all legal. Permanent tax deduction, completely 100% legal because I don't have a job. Because I don't have a job. And I will never feel the tax the rich promises made by politicians because I don't have a job and I'm doing things with money called cash flow that actually stimulates economic growth. So my reward is I don't get taxed for that behavior. It's a pretty big deal. But yeah, This whole thing is paid for by passive and residual money, and I don't have a job, and it's paid for in cash. No mortgage, which frees up a lot of cash, by the way. Renaissance Fair is great. We'll have to go next year. Okay, that sounds good. So what do you guys think about that? Being able to pay for a house in cash, no mortgage, and you don't have a job. Imagine you do not have a job and you can afford to pay for a house in cash. No mortgage, no rent. You don't have a job, you can afford to do that. If you have a job, you probably can't afford to do that. And if you have a job and you can't afford to do that, then you're going to lose half of your income to taxes anyway. It's a totally different world. Having a job is the biggest pyramid scam, the biggest ripoff you guys could ever possibly imagine. It's very good, Leah. You're right. Mariah says, I need a house in cash with no mortgage, with no job. Absolutely. It is the best thing ever. That's right, Sandy. Well, if you're truly interested, Sandy, and anybody else listening, private message me. Hi, Kathy. Well, I'm glad it ended up turning out to be a little hangout session after all. I mean, you guys started to act like a bump in a log for a little bit. I was about 2 seconds away from saying, all right, see you next video, finish. We are going to do this thing in January. It will be a new year. We will be working together soon. Awesome, Mariah. Yeah, there's nothing more fun than doing this with friends, man. That's for damn sure. Okay, I will give you a tour of the yard. See, turn this around. This is my front yard. Took some appliances out to the front. That will be picked up tomorrow. Or by the neighborhood pickers. Right now is fall turnover. Things are turning to winter soon. Right now everything is kind of plush because it's just that time of year. In the summer things are typically brown. These are dying off. These are wild flowers that I got in my yard. Good to hear your voice too, Mariah. That didn't make any sense. I can't hear your voice. In the springtime and throughout the summer, there's all kinds of wildflowers that grow in here. This is just my front yard. My backyard is actually way cooler. Well, let's go to the back. Go through my little passion forest. I call my house Passion Terrace, and then my little woodsy area is Passion Forest, I like to call it. So now I'm going through Passion Forest, and I got a fire pit here, and it burns so hot. You know, they're typically called embers that burn from the wood and fly, these little flyaway embers. These burn so hot. And it's Passion Terrace. Those are little passions that come out. And they will burn holes through your clothing, man. So watch out for those passions. I don't recall, where are you, Tom? Sandy? I am in Kenosha, Wisconsin. Wisconsin has long, cold winters, and we're soon approaching that as we speak, given it's October 10th right now. This is one of my gardens right here. The bird bath, that's upside down, but this is one of my gardens. This is a mulberry tree right here. Sweet mulberries. This is a cherry tree. Yes, I have a cherry tree. Very green, opposite of the desert, at least the green part. I think the desert is actually more gorgeous, but I'm weird. Passion Forest. This is another garden. I'm not really doing much with it right now, but I did put in some check this out. I went to the grocery store, actually, not a gardening store, and I got some organic green onions. I snipped them at the roots, ate the greens, and I put the roots in the dirt, and now I got these. And I got this from the grocery store. So I just pick this, and I eat the greens. I never pull out the roots and eat them. I actually just eat the greens. So I bought them once, and it will give me an infinite return on my investment. It will never stop producing. It'll come back every year after the ground freezes and thaws out. These will keep coming back. It's delicious. because I never pull them at the roots. I just eat the greens. I do the same thing with my garlic. I never pull the garlic out. In fact, I'll show you right now as I continue the tour. Here's another one of my gardens. So I got like 3 gardens. Asparagus. I've got like 10 crowns of asparagus, and they're all going to seed right now. You can see that. Massive asparagus. That's asparagus. And that's asparagus. All this is asparagus. And you can see the asparagus is going to seed. And I'm just going to let that go. And next year, I'll start harvesting some of the spears, probably 100 or so at a time that I harvest them, and I can harvest several times a year. So that's pretty cool. And, oh, Mariah and Cheyenne, you remember what I told you about asparagus, right? You remember? Good morning, sunshine, beautiful yard. Mine's looking sad today. We've had a couple cold nights. Have to pull out dead flowers and such. Boo-hoo. Yeah, it's that time of year, Dee. I hear you. But Mariah and Cheyenne, you remember what I told you about asparagus, right? Well, I grow tons of it here. Should make a video on gardening using kitchen scraps. Yeah, I'm going to do more about that. I've already touched on it, but like here's my garlic. See that? I'm going to pull some, or not pull, pick some of the greens right here. Hopefully you guys saw, well, let me turn it around just to make sure. I have no idea if you saw that. But basically, these are garlic greens. And what I do is I'll snip the greens. I do not pull the garlic out. The bulbs are in the ground. They will always be there. I will never pull them out. And then I'll eat them. It's all organic. I have never put any chemicals in my yard of any kind ever, and I never will. I cannot believe that people poison their own food, their own soil, but they do. These are all organic. And same thing with the green onions that I just showed you. The garlic, because I never pull the roots out or the bulbs out, they will constantly produce greens year after year. I only have to plant it once. I got it from the grocery store. I didn't go to a gardening store. Bought organic, put them in the ground, and they grow. They grow pretty fast too. They start shooting up greens pretty quickly, and you keep snipping them. And because you're only eating the greens, it's the investment that you can make into your health that will give you an infinite return. You can't even calculate the return on investment because it will keep producing over and over. It's the biggest bang. Anytime you can get an infinite return on your investment, that is the biggest bang for your buck you will ever get, ever. And it does so much for your health too because you keep it organic. So consider that. And you can do that with radishes and just about any kind of a root vegetable. And a lot of produce, for that matter, you can do that. And ones that you can't, like maybe a tomato plant, you wouldn't be able to do that. You can certainly harvest your own seeds. It's just a little different, that's all. So you eat a tomato, save some of the seeds, maybe save a tomato or two from each tomato plant, and harvest those seeds, put it in the ground for next year. And even that way, you'll never have to go buy tomato plants or tomato seeds ever again if you keep harvesting your seeds. It's the same thing. It's the same way that money works. If you roll over some of your income and you constantly reinvest some of it, then you can build it and build it and build it. This is how you can turn one tomato seed or one apple seed into an orchard of tomatoes and apples. You constantly reinvest itself, harvest the seeds back over, and build, 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 build. You can be as big as you want it to be. Money works the same way. Money is really just a reflection of nature, right? Like if you were to grow an apple tree and you ate all of the apples, you didn't reinvest any of the apples back into the soil, then you will be out of apples and you have to go and you have to buy more apples, right? Money is exactly the same way. If you even take just a little bit of it, of those apple seeds, and you put it back into the ground, eventually over time, you will have an orchard of apples that you could produce from one apple seed. Same thing with money. If you constantly reinvest, even if it's just a couple percent, like 5%, 10%, you will eventually have $1 million or $1 billion. You'll get there quickly if you do half, but even if it's just 10%. And this is one thing that keeps the poor poor. Like if you're living paycheck to paycheck year after year and it's not getting any better, it's just year after year, it's the same circular pattern of paycheck to paycheck, it will never get any better unless you start reinvesting some of that money into growing yourself. And if you don't, then you're always going to be paycheck to paycheck or worse. It's the same thing. That's a reflection of nature. So if you treat money in a way that you're cooperating with nature, then you can grow your income as big as you want it to be. But we have a culture of paycheck to paycheck because people aren't taught these things. And that's on purpose. In 1903, the biggest banks in the world bought and took over the school board of education. That was well over 100 years ago. And they did that because they wanted to keep the population financially dumb. That's why you don't learn this stuff in school, because they need obedient workers. And the best way to keep people obedient is to not teach them about money. Hi, Violet. Miss you, Violet. Scarlet. Is Scarlet there too? You got the cutest freaking kids, Cheyenne. I'm just saying. They were really adorable. For those of you wondering who I'm talking about, look at my cover photo. You'll see Scarlet and Violet there with all the produce. Gonna do that vertical. Yeah, I love what they're doing with vertical gardens, and basically people, for people that don't have a yard, like people that live in apartments, there's so many things you can do now with vertical garden concepts. So anybody can do a garden now, even if you have no yard, even if you live in an apartment complex. And plus, for those of you that don't have a yard but you like to do traditional gardening, there's more community garden plots that are opening up all over the place. Even where I live in Kenosha, I used to never see them, and now there's at least like 3 or 4 of them here that I know about. So anybody can do a garden now. It's great. We are so far removed from where our food comes from. I would love to see how to start food from the kitchen. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. And that's done on purpose too, because that makes big corrupt business a lot of money. The more that they can remove us from food, the more money that they make. And at the end of the day, big corrupt business really needs obedient consumers and purchasers. They don't want obedient investors. They want obedient consumers and purchasers. Boy, that neighborhood looks familiar. I lived in Racine many years. Whereabouts are you? Well, I'm in Kenosha D. You know where Bradford High School is? I'll say I'm within a mile radius of that location. Show us how. Make a video. I will. Jealous of the garden. Violet says hi, Violet. Yeah, that's right. I'm catching up now. She says hi to the screen. Cool. She says miss you too. Scarlet is sleeping. She's a lazy bum. Well, I guess you'll have to play this video for Scarlet later, where I said hi, Scarlet. Just remember the timestamp, right? I'm going to pics of my old garden sometime. Cool, yeah. I can't wait to see it. We could roof garden too here over our shed. There you go, roof gardens. I see those pop up more too. Probably have to have a sturdy building. Violet is giving you all the smiles and hearts. Ah, cute. Thanks, Violet. I bet Violet is wanting to brush my hair. Like she's over there binging right now. Or not binging, but the opposite of binging. Whatever word that is. Is Violet going into hair brushing withdrawals? Is she like a crack addict that had her crack taken away from her? Because she can't brush my hair anymore. Violet! My hair, I know, it needs to be fixed. Violet could fix my hair, but I'll have to wait until I'm back over there. Alright, so that was fun hanging out with everybody. I'm going to go ahead and end this video and get on with my day. I'll be on Facebook on and off, various things that I'm doing. I'll be outside a lot today just because it's beautiful, and our beautiful days are numbered this time of year. It's just the way that it is. So have a great day, everybody. Again, my website is tombirkenmeyer.com. Let's take out the space, spelled just like it is on my social media, tomberkenmeyer.com. And I will talk to you later. Oh, don't be fooled when they say tax the rich. They're talking about you because you have a job. Don't forget it. So the solution is to get rid of your job and build passive and residual money.